Представям ви Tim Soulo, Head of Marketing на HRFs. Той ще представи неговата тема. Come on, Tim.
So, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Hello? Okay, so I'm being messaged that you can hear me. It's nice to meet you all virtually, though I'm hoping that organizers will send me some pictures of how it looks like, because this is quite fun. But I will jump right into my presentation, not to waste anyone's time. So I'll be talking about keyword research in the era of artificial intelligence and clickstream data. And let me switch to the next slide. We are going to talk about 4 things today. Basic steps in keyword research, why data from Google can't really be trusted, what we know about keywords and searches thanks to clickstream, and how artificial intelligence is changing the way we do keyword research. And at the end, I will have a few small hacks for doing keyword research in 2017. Just a little bit about myself. My name is Tim. I'm head of marketing at href.com. I hope some of you heard about our tools and data. I was born in Ukraine, but now I live in Singapore, where our headquarters are. And if you like my presentation, you can follow me on social channels and get more interesting content from me. So let's dive into the first part of my presentation, basic steps in keyword research. I'm sure that most of you are familiar with these 4 steps. First, you generate some keyword ideas, then you calculate the traffic potential, analyze the competition, and finally you're left with the best keywords that you want to go for. But you cannot do keyword research without tools. There's just no way to do it. This is why tools is what I'm going to be talking about. And the most popular tool for keyword research, and it has been like it for years, is Google AdWords or Google Keyword Planner, whatever you call it. But basically people use it to generate keyword ideas. This is when you put your general keyword or otherwise called seed keyword into it, and it will return you a bunch of relevant keyword ideas that you could target. Then there's also like a hint for traffic potential, which is monthly search volume. And if you're new to this, search volume is basically how many times people enter this keyword into Google per month in a given country or globally, whatever setting you set. And then there's also competition in Google AdWords, but this is not the SEO competition. This is not the competition for ranking naturally. This is competition for advertisers, and I specifically stressing on this because a lot of people still confuse it. And lastly, once you've gone through these 3 steps, you have your work. But despite the fact that Google AdWords and Google Keyword Planner is so popular, well, probably because SEO professionals could use it for free for a long time, can you trust their data? Because it has long been thought that the data that comes from Google is the most accurate you can get. So we're going to the second part of my presentation about the tools and data that comes from Google, and if we can trust it, how reliable is it? So the first problem that we have in AdWords is that they hide keyword ideas from SEO professionals. So on my screenshot, I basically used the seed keyword SEO, and I wanted to see how many keyword ideas Google AdWords, Google Keyword Tool will give me for that general keyword. And there were only 701 keyword ideas, which is quite a small number. Because if you do the same search in Ahrefs, because we have our own keyword tool, you have like 140 more keyword ideas than Google is showing you. And the reason for that is that AdWords is not a tool for SEO professionals, it's a tool for advertisers. So they're pretty good at giving you great keyword ideas to pay for, to display your search ads for, but they don't want to give you information about what people search for so that you could optimize your website and get all this traffic free, which is kind of So the takeaway, if you want to research keyword for SEO, if you want to research keywords for ranking naturally, and not for advertising, paying money for these keywords, you can use pretty much any tool. There are a lot of different keyword research tools. You can Google them and use whichever you like best, but not AdWords, because AdWords is for advertising. The next issue with Google Keyword Planner, that, like I said, is the most popular tool for keyword search, is that they are grouping similar keywords. So on my screenshot, you can see that I used two seed keywords. One is SEO, and the other is search engine optimization. They're basically synonyms, but Google AdWords is grouping them into one, and it is showing the average monthly search volume for a single keyword, and not splitting them into two like I wanted it to be. And it might seem like not a bad thing, because the keywords are synonyms, but let's look at how search results for these keywords look like. And it appears that the search results are different, because you can see that in one case we have a knowledge card, which explains what is search engine optimization, and in the other case you have featured snippet, which has a link to Wikipedia. So, and I'm not even talking about what goes below the first search result. So basically, the natural search results for these keywords are different, which matters a lot to SEOs. But like I said, this doesn't matter for advertisers, because their advertisements are always above the natural search results, and they don't care if the search results for two keywords would be different or not. The third problem with Google AdWords is that the data about popularity of a keyword, the amount of monthly searches, is a rounded average. And let me explain what rounded average means. Well, first of all, on my screenshot, I'm using kind of a free version of Google's tool. Free means that I'm not running any paid campaigns. I'm not wasting spending money on AdWords. And this is why, instead of more specific numbers, they give me averages. But here's another screenshot where I'm using our AdWords account, where we are running some paid campaigns. And so I'm able to see more accurate monthly search volumes. But how actually accurate are they? Because like I just said, they're giving us rounded averages. So let me explain what that means. On the example of the keyword SEO. So for the keyword, I tell you that the monthly search volume is 110 searches per month. So basically, people enter this keyword into Google 110 times every month. But then if you hover over a little icon that shows annual trend, so basically 12 months, and what was the search volume for each month, you can see that for 10 of these months, the search volume was 110K, and for 2 of these months, the search volume was 135K. So if you know a little bit of math and you can get the average number for the year, it would be 114, while Google AdWords is rounding it to 110. So, and it's not even rounding, because if they were rounding, they would probably round to just 100. They have their own scale of rounding keywords, and sometimes the search volume that they cut to round the keyword to a specific search volume is pretty big. So if you thought that the numbers that come from Google AdWords are super accurate and perfectly represent how often people search for a specific keyword, you're kind of a little bit wrong, and you can see this on a simple example. I didn't even have to dig deeper to show you that. So can you trust this number? Actually, Google is quite inconsistent even between their own tools. So here on my screenshot, you can see that I'm using the same two keywords, content marketing and inbound marketing, in two tools that belong to Google. One is Google Trends, the other is Google AdWords. And in one tool, I can see that the difference in search demand, in search volume between these two keywords is about 2 times, while in the other tool, it shows that there are almost no difference, that the search demand for these keywords is identical. So which of the two Google tools you trust? hard to tell. So basically the takeaway from all this is that we shouldn't think that data from Google is super accurate. We should treat it with a grain of salt. We should understand that it is average, it is rounded, and it has some inconsistencies. So, but where do all the keyword research tools get their data from? Of course, the majority of keyword research tools that are present on the market today get it from Google AdWords, because up until recently there was basically no other source of search volume data other than Google themselves, and this is why all the tools were basically pulling whatever Google was showing them. And on my screenshot you can see that most tools show almost an identical search volume for the same keywords as Google AdWords, and only two tools stand out. These are Ahrefs and Moz. This is because other than using information purely from Google AdWords, meaning Ahrefs and Moz, are also pairing it, modeling it against data that comes from Clickstream sources. And this is why we kind of have a slightly more, I would say, accurate search volume numbers than all these other tools. And if you know about Clickstream data, I have listed 3 providers. I'm pretty sure you've heard of SimilarWeb already, and the other 2 are JumpShot and Clickstream. So if you want to learn more about Clickstream data, research what these guys do. Okay, now the third part of my presentation is what we know about keywords thanks to Clickstream, what kind of insights we can get from getting data not just from Google, but from alternative source, which is Clickstream. We can calculate better search volume. Like I already said, we can ungroup keywords that Google is grouping. This is what I was showing you with SEO and search engine optimization. And we have a ton of other interesting things that we can do with the data. So here's the first example. This is something that one of our customers was asking. He said that he tried to pull search volume for the keyword influencer definition from different tools, and all of them were showing like high search volume. This is because Google is again grouping 2 keywords together. For Google AdWords, influencer definition and influence definition is kind of the same thing. This is why they're grouping both together and showing the same search volume. But if you look at the bottom of my screen, this is data that comes from Ahrefs. You see that these are entirely different search queries, entirely different keywords, and one is vastly more popular than the other. So we know this because of Clickstream, because we take the data that comes from Google AdWords and we use it as our base data, but then we compare it, we model it against what we know from Clickstream, we apply some coding magic. I'm not really good at this stuff because I'm not too technical, but what we get at the end is better search volume, and you can see this on multiple examples that I have already showed you. But that's not the only thing that we can do with Clickstream. There are a lot of great insights, and I can tell you that the SEO niche is only entering this wonderful world of Clickstream, so we're going to know a lot more about how people search in the next. So first thing is, did you notice these little graphs on my previous screenshot? It's CPCs and clicks. So this is clicks. I think we have the wrong abbreviation here. Should be clicks per search and clicks. Okay, so let's explain you what this means. There's a small problem with search volume actually, because search volume doesn't mean traffic. It doesn't mean clicks. Let's get back to the keyword influence definition. When you Google for the keyword influence definition, you get a knowledge card from Google, which basically gives you an instant answer to your question. So you wanted influence definition, you got influence definition. Why would you click anything in the search result? And if you look at the data that Ahrefs shows you, there's a gray graph, and we show you that there are a lot of searches for the keyword influence definition, but no one is actually clicking on the search result. Then there's another example, best wireless headphones. On my screenshot, you can see how the search results for such a query look like. And usually when I search for things like this, I can never tell from the start which is the best search result. So I just click a few of them and then research each of them. So this is what you get with Ahrefs when you see the Clickstream data. For best wireless headphones, we show search volume of 57,000 searches per month, but this keyword generates 73,000 of clicks. And this is because there's a metric called clicks per search. This is because people click more than one search result. This is quite an interesting data because this metric basically tells you if your keyword has some traffic potential for pages that rank, for example, number 3 or number 4. So if people are not satisfied with the first few search results, they will click more of them, and this means that you have an opportunity to get traffic even if you rank a little bit lower. Another thing that we can see from Clickstream is the clicks on ads, if people are clicking on ads or not. And here in my example, I have a keyword iPhone 7 case, and you can see that basically as soon as there appeared some search for this keyword, there were ads right from the start, and people were clicking these ads. In fact, our data shows that 20% of all clicks go to ads, which is also very interesting because you know if you concentrate only on organic traffic or if you should also invest some money into ads. If you want to learn more about tricks that we have thanks to Clickstream data and how to use it in your marketing, in your keyword research, I have quite a big article about this with a lot of examples and use cases, and the link is on the screen. I invite you to check it out and maybe ask me a few in the comments. I will be happy to answer them. And the last part of my presentation is how artificial intelligence is changing our keyword search. So basically, I think it's not a secret to anyone that artificial intelligence is advancing pretty fast, and Google itself is pretty smart. So here I have a query, what is the name of the computer in Terminator 2? And they instantly give me the first answer, Skynet. So basically, I wasn't searching for Skynet to get the search result Skynet, but Google was able to understand what I want without actually mentioning this keyword, which is pretty cool. So we did a study. We studied 2 million search results. We took 2 million keywords basically and looked at the top ranking pages for this keyword. And what our study showed is that top 10 pages don't have the keyword that they rank for in the title. So basically, you don't have to use your keyword, the keyword that you want to rank for in your title, and you can still rank for it. But that's not all. We also studied if that keyword that page is ranked for was present anywhere on the page. And it occurred that in about 75% of cases, kind of in majority of this, Google was able to map keywords to pages, even though these pages were not directly mentioning this keyword. This is because Google is pretty good with synonyms, with semantically related terms, that it can basically understand what you're searching for and return you pages, even if these pages don't specifically mention this keyword anywhere on the page. So this is just another example. I search for I need headphones that work via Bluetooth. I try to emulate the voice search because it's growing in popularity and people will search by voice more and more. And Google was again pretty good at returning me perfectly relevant results. And as you can see, none of these results are using something like I need Bluetooth headphones in their headline. So basically a single page on your website can rank in Google, and by rank, I mean rank at #1 position or in top 3 search results for thousands of different keywords. So here I plugged a URL of some article into Ahrefs, and with a quick filter, I was able to see that this page ranks in top 3 Google position for over 200 keywords. So it brings quite a nice traffic to this page. Then we did another study. We studied 1.4 billion searches in US, because we wanted to study kind of the searching habits of people, like what is the way they search, and it appears that the vast majority of searches consist of 3+ words. So people rarely search for something that has 1 word or 2 words. They mostly search for longer things. And I'm pretty sure that if we replicate these similarities within a year from now, like I said, because of the voice search and such, and because new people that, younger people that start using Google and they don't understand the concept of keywords, they just type in like they're talking to a friend. I'm pretty sure that the amount of longer and more specific keywords will keep rising, and the amount of shorter and more general keywords will be going down. The other thing that we looked at was the search volume distribution. So basically there are keywords that people search for a lot, and there are keywords, very specific ones, that are not popular. And it appears that the vast majority of keywords in our US database, over 90%, they have super low search volume, so people search for them no more than 20 times per month. So this is again back to the so-called long tail of search, and back to the concept that people can search for things in all sorts of ways. You can never know how a person will ask a question, and the job of Google is to understand the meaning behind the search query and to map it to a specific page. So where am I going with all this? The metrics of an individual keyword don't show the full picture these days. So here I have Donald Trump age, and again it was a cool example because people search for it a lot. You can see there are over 100,000 searches for this keyword, but there are only like almost 20,000 clicks because you get a knowledge card that displays it instantly. But yeah, again, even all these metrics, even all this knowledge is not enough to accurately predict the traffic that you are going to get. What you need to be looking at is pages. So let me show you what I mean. Here's a keyword, I'm sorry flowers. It has 350 searches per month, and you can also see that it generates like 200 clicks, and it doesn't look too promising. So if I were the owner of flower store, I don't think I would pay attention to this keyword because it has too small search volume. But then in Ahrefs, you can basically pull the top 10 search results for this keyword and look at the traffic of the top ranking pages, at their search traffic, and the amount of other keywords they rank for. And if you look at the top ranking page for the keyword I'm sorry flowers, you can see that other than ranking for I'm sorry flowers, it also ranks for 40 minus 48 minus 1, 47 other relevant keywords, which brings almost 300 like super targeted visitors per month. So, and again, I took this page, I entered it into Ahrefs to see what are these keywords that they rank for, and on my slide you can pretty much see that because they rank for a more general topic, I'm sorry flowers, Google is automatically ranking them for all sorts of ways to ask pretty much the same question, which are like white roses apology, flowers to say sorry, what color rose means sorry, and blah blah blah. And there are quite a few ways for people to ask the same question, and Google will always return the same page. So this is why the idea is not just look at the search volume of an individual keyword, but study the pages that rank for this keyword and see how much traffic they're generating in total from all these different ways to ask the same question to the same search query. And this is actually, I wrote a post this at Ahrefs, and this is a comment from one of the readers. So basically he said that he was targeting a keyword that has slightly less than 500 searches per month, but this article is generating from 200 to 400 visitors per day. This is again back to the concept that you shouldn't only look at the search volume of an individual keyword, but study the total traffic potential of the ranked pages. And the same applies for researching keywords that your competitors are ranking for. Because when here on the screenshot, I used Ahrefs to see what keywords our own website is ranking for. And by studying keywords, you can easily get lost because there are thousands of them, and you don't know like which ones you need to target and stuff like this. And then we have a report called Top Pages, which takes basically the same information and groups them by page. So basically, you can see, for example, that article number 3, page number 3, HTTP versus HTTPS for SEO. It ranks for almost 300 different keywords, which brings almost 500 visits per month from search. And I should say that here at Ahrefs we're underestimating the number of keywords that the page ranks for and the amount of traffic that it brings, because we obviously don't have like all these billions and billions of keywords that people put into Google. So in reality, there's even more keywords that these pages are ranking for, and this brings even more traffic. And that's pretty much it. Actually, to be honest, it was super hard to squeeze all this information and to explain it in all the detail in this quite a short presentation. This is why on my slide you see some further reads where you can learn more about keyword research, about keyword metrics, about how to measure keyword difficulty, about how to take advantage of the long tail keywords, and also how to apply all that on your page so that it would rank in Google and bring you some nice traffic. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And you can always reach me at the social networks that I have listed, or email me directly because I have my email on the slide. Thank you. I hear some applause. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Great presentation. Do you have any questions from somebody? Притесняйте. Кажете го на български, ако искате, ще го преведем. Tim, here from the people, they ask about do you have support on Bulgarian about Ahrefs, and can they use Ahrefs for Bulgarian project, for google.bg, for example?
To be honest, I don't remember. I know for sure that we have support for more than 100 countries, and there's a good chance that Bulgaria is supported. But we have a free 14-day trial, so anyone can go to our website, sign up, try some websites and see how much data we have for Bulgaria, and maybe compare with any other tools that pull the same data about keywords and rankings. And see if we have more or less data, and then please tweet me and tell me if we're good or not Bulgaria, because if we're not, we'll totally invest some of our time there and improve.
Okay, thank you. Други въпроси? Okay, Tim, thank you very much for this great presentation.
Sure, thanks for inviting me.